Tonight, an NBC News investigation, including interviews with a dozen military officials with knowledge of events, shows that the U.S. and Iran came closer to the brink of war than previously known, and that tensions could quickly escalate once more. This week, President Trump was again celebrating the strike that killed Iran's general, Qasem Soleimani.
Soleimani was responsible for murdering and wounding thousands of Americans and actively planning new attacks, but we stopped him cold.
Now we're learning new details. On December 29th at Mar-a-Lago, meeting with his national security team, President Trump authorized the Soleimani killing and more actions that never took place, including bombing Iranian Navy ships, missile launchers, and air defense systems. 3 days after killing Soleimani came the most critical and dangerous moments. Military officials tell NBC News intelligence platforms observed Iran moving missiles into place. Two officials say the U.S. sent a note to Iran through neutral Switzerland, threatening an overwhelming response if Iran launched ballistic missiles at U.S. forces. Iran did it anyway, launching more than a dozen at the Al-Assad air base. While no Americans were killed, more than 50 suffered brain injuries. Then Iran quickly announced that its response was over, and President Trump de-escalated. Multiple current and former military officials tell NBC News they worry President Trump may be tempted to take more risks again, and that the U.S. remains on a hair trigger for a potential conflict with Iran.
We are poised on a knife's edge. If Americans had been killed, we would be in an ongoing war now with Iran.
And Richard joins me now. Richard, what are we hearing from Iran about all this?
So we reached out to Iranian officials, and they gave us a statement saying that Iran does not anticipate any further escalation of hostilities. But U.S. officials remain on the lookout to see if Iran will retaliate, particularly in a way that will be hard to pin on Iran.
Hey, NBC News fans, thanks for checking out our YouTube channel. Subscribe by clicking on that button down here, and click on any of the videos over here to watch the latest interviews, show highlights, and digital exclusives. Thanks for watching.